Early morning, Lytchett Matravers. Maybe somebody forgot something. This is a Korean spruce, I think it's called. It's the most wonderful colour on the cones. And if I come down to these here, you'll see the resin coming out. It's lovely this morning, going for my morning walk. Been ill for so many weeks now and not taking exercise. It's great to get out again in the sunshine and a beautiful early morning. We need to be a little bit earlier to catch the best of the countryside at the moment. There's so much traffic noise kicking in after about 6 a.m. in the morning. So maybe fortune favours, or the blessing favours, those who rise early and seize the day, carpe diem. Anyway, I'm out, I'm exercising, I'm enjoying the flowers, the birds, the sounds of nature. It's going to be a good day. In the hedgerow for the first time I've seen this year, these tiny little vetch, like a pea plant, in amongst the giant ferns. Very attractive. Here in Lytchett Matravers we have quite a few flies who act as waiters and waitresses in our cafes and pubs, and they don't give very good services, so part of the parish council's procedure and policies is to no fly tipping, don't tip the flies. Even the spiders have been busy. Of course they've been busy, they're always busy. You can see it so much better in the early morning light. I think even the stinging nettle has its own beauty in the right light. Look at that architecture. And the fly getting ready for a busy day's buzzing. Beautiful light this morning. Of course, nettles can be used for a lot of good things. My favourite beer used stinging nettles. Stinger from Blandford. Welcome back to English Oak Vineyard. It's been far too long since I was last here. This used to be my daily routine where I walk down here, share often a little bit to camera, and get my 5,000 steps as my minimum requirement. But through all manner of excuses and reasons, I've neglected to do that. Well, today we start again, and isn't that great? Sometimes you just need to start again. And you can take a weight of condemnation and sort of that self-critical spirit that so many of us suffer from. But what's the point? Why don't we just take the lessons from what we've learned in the past and go, I'll take that useful bit, but I'm going to leave the past behind me like I'm going to leave the time behind me. I can't go back and live that time again. So let's take the good bits and get back to our good intentions. I intend to do 5,000 steps minimum per day. I hope you enjoyed the B-roll. And the B-roll was the supporting footage that led up to this little piece to camera now. You see, I'd forgotten that as well. The reason I got more excited about video again was one video from Pete McKinnon on YouTube about B-roll. And B-roll is the supporting footage. You are the A-roll, you're the star, you're the talent. And the B-roll is the stuff that puts you in context. So A-roll, content, B-roll, context. And what a great context. And it's been so long since I've been down here. The vines have sprung up, grown up and flourished. I think they're having a very, very good year. And I hope you're having a very, very good year as well. Because if your roots are down deep into good soil and you're getting good sunshine and you're getting all the nutrients and the water you need, that flow, then life is going to be good this year. Wonderful. Anyway, thank you for tuning in. It's been an interesting journey down here today, taking lots of supporting moments. And the bit I didn't film, which perhaps I should have done, was a lovely fellow pulled his car over and said, "Hey, what are you doing? Are you taking photographs?" And we had a good chat about vlogging and video. People are interested in your stories. I have found that hard to believe that you would be interested in my story, but you have been, and you've been kind enough to comment. So I wonder if it's time for you to tell your story. And if you're wondering about what I'm wearing, I've got a sort of sense of humour running through my head today. I've got to a point in my life where I'm quite an irritable what's it most of the time. So I wondered if there was a new martial art which I'm going to call touchy, T-O-U, separate word, chi, C-H-I. The martial art of practicing inner peace for ratty people who are getting older. What do you think? Do you think that could work? Touchy. How do I release my inner calm? Much more of a vlog today because I came down here to read to you the Moodscope blog, the Monday Moodscope blog, and for some reason it's not been published, so we'll have to go and sort that one out. Anyway, nobody likes somebody who rambles on too much, so I'm going to say thank you for tuning in. I really wish you an amazing day today, and may I just stir you up a bit to do your own videos, to tell your story. People will watch a video far more often than they'll read through text. Be being blessed, and together we can live the life we have imagined. Oh, a little technical thing as well. I've noticed I've started filming in 4K and it's just, I haven't got the capacity on my computer to store the files, they're too big. So I went to a sort of happy compromise, don't like the word compromise, but a balance between the two. Shooting in HD, which is the 1080 setting, but 60 frames per second. When I've edited that in Final Cut Pro and then put it up to YouTube, it seems to have a much better look to it. I don't know why, I don't understand the technique or the technology behind that or the science. However, 1080 HD, 60 frames per second seems to work really well, and I'm continuing to use the front camera on the iPhone even though I can't see whether I'm properly in frames, but hit and miss. But that does a much better job as well. Nice just to share with you as well how beautiful the vineyard is. Look how rich the vines are. I'm sure they'd like a bit of rain. It's nice and damp here this morning. They just seem to be flourishing. Flourish is an interesting word, isn't it? I wonder if that's linked to flow as well. Flow and flourish. English Oak Vineyard. Maker of some rather splendid wines from their splendid vines. Look at that, and the symmetry of it. Man and nature working together rather nicely. I'll conclude there with one of those splendid oaks. Do come and do the tour. I do tastings and weddings, so you can come and experience this as well in Lytchett Matravers. Bless your eyes. This is one of my favourite ambiguous signs. Does that mean the children and animals of Lytchett Matravers are a bit slow? Or should we slow down? You know the truth, but the joy of the ambiguity is quite funny, isn't it? It's going to be an interesting one for me today, because my purpose for coming out on this walk, apart from getting the 5,000 steps, was to do the Moodscope Monday blog. And something's gone wrong technically, so that wasn't published. So the content into which this context frames that content is not there. Will you enjoy the vlog without any substantial content? Only you can tell me. It's been interesting though. This is the high point of the year for so many people. The gentle summer and the trees, even now the fruit is beginning to grow on the apple trees. Just so much variety, so beautiful. Wonderful. Much to be grateful for.